Are you over 65 and worried about stroke? Imagine starting your day with simple habits that could silently put your brain and heart at risk. Every morning, millions of older adults follow routines that feel normal but might be dangerous. Stroke is a leading cause of serious disability and death for people over 60, and sadly, it often strikes in the early morning hours when our bodies are vulnerable. The danger isn't just getting older, it's the small things we do right after waking up. These habits, like rushing out of bed or drinking coffee too soon, can cause sudden spikes in blood pressure and stress on your blood vessels, increasing the chance of a stroke. But the good news is, you have the power to change this. In this video, I will share the top 10 common morning habits that older adults should stop immediately to lower their stroke risk. This isn't about making big, hard changes. It's about small, smart adjustments to your morning routine that can offer huge protection for your health. I will walk you through these habits in a reverse countdown, starting with number 10 and ending with the number 1 habit that surprises most people. By understanding why these habits are risky and what to do instead, you can take control of your mornings and significantly reduce your chance of stroke. Get ready to learn how to make your mornings safer and healthier, starting tomorrow. I'm Dr. Ryo Iba, a geriatric physician with 58 years of experience helping older adults live healthier, longer lives all around the world. If you find this information helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more tips to protect your health as you age. The advice I'm sharing is based on my years of experience and findings from many peer-reviewed studies that look at how daily habits affect the health of older adults, especially concerning heart and brain health. However, please remember that this video is for educational purposes only. Everyone is different, and what works best for one person might not be right for another. It is always important to talk to your own doctor or healthcare provider before making any big changes to your diet, exercise, medication, or daily routine, especially if you have existing health conditions. Your doctor knows your full medical history and can give you advice that is specifically right for you. Now, let's get into the countdown of the 10 morning habits you need to stop to lower your stroke risk, starting with number 10. Number 10. Smoking first thing in the morning. For many people who smoke, having a cigarette soon after waking up is a deep-seated habit. It might feel like a way to start the day, but for older adults, this is a seriously risky habit that can greatly increase your chance of having a stroke. Pain/benefit. When you inhale cigarette smoke, especially after many hours without smoking, your body gets a big jolt of harmful chemicals. Nicotine causes your blood vessels to tighten up very quickly, like squeezing a hose. This makes your blood pressure shoot up suddenly. Carbon monoxide from the smoke also makes it harder for your blood to carry oxygen, which means your brain might not get enough oxygen. Smoking also makes your blood thicker and stickier, making it easier for dangerous clots to form. These clots can travel to your brain and block blood flow, causing an ischemic stroke. For older adults whose blood vessels might already be stiff or narrowed from years of aging or other conditions, this sudden stress from morning smoking is particularly dangerous. Stopping this habit, or even just delaying that first cigarette for as long as possible, can immediately start protecting your blood vessels and lower your blood pressure, giving your heart and brain a much-needed break right at the start of the day. Named study. A large study published in the journal Stroke looked at smoking habits and stroke risk in older adults. It found that the risk of stroke was highest for smokers, and this risk was especially concerning in the hours right after waking up, possibly because of the combined effect of morning blood pressure surges and the immediate effects of nicotine. The study highlighted that even light smoking increases risk, and quitting at any age significantly lowers it over time. Practical action. If you smoke, the best thing you can do for your stroke risk is to quit entirely. However, breaking a morning habit can be very hard. If quitting completely right now seems too much, try to delay that first cigarette. Make a rule for yourself. I will not have a cigarette until after I've had breakfast and gone for a short walk, or I will wait at least 1 hour after waking. Every minute you delay that first cigarette is a small victory for your blood vessels. Find other things to do right when you wake up instead. Drink water, do some gentle stretches, or listen to music. Keep your cigarettes in a place that is not easy to reach from your bed. Safety nuance. Quitting smoking can be challenging, and withdrawal symptoms can include feeling stressed or anxious. It's important not to swap one risky habit for another. Talk to your doctor about strategies to help you quit safely, including nicotine replacement therapy or support groups. If delaying smoking causes you significant distress, discuss this with your doctor to find the best approach for you. Minites/question. Smoking first thing floods your body with stress, but what about simply ignoring another basic need? That's habit number 9. Number 9. Ignoring thirst and not drinking water. You've just gone 7 or 8 hours without any water while you were sleeping. Your body has used up fluids, and you are likely a little bit dehydrated. Ignoring this thirst and not drinking water soon after waking up might seem harmless, but it's a habit that can quietly raise your stroke risk, especially for those over 65. Pain/benefit. When your body doesn't have enough water, your blood becomes thicker. Think of it like trying to pump thick syrup through narrow tubes compared to pumping thin water. Thicker blood doesn't flow as easily through your blood vessels. This makes your heart work harder to push blood around your body, which can increase your blood pressure. Thicker blood also has a higher chance of forming clots. If a clot forms and travels to your brain, it can block a blood vessel and cause an ischemic stroke. Dehydration can also affect your overall circulation and make you feel dizzy or lightheaded when you stand up, which is another risk factor for falls and injury in older adults. Drinking a glass of water soon after waking helps thin your blood, making it flow more smoothly. It supports healthy blood pressure levels and helps all your organs, including your brain, get the oxygen and nutrients they need. It's a simple step that gives your body a healthy head start. Named study. Research published in the American Journal of Epidemiology linked chronic mild dehydration to an increased risk of blood clots and stroke. While this study looked at overall hydration, being dehydrated after a night's sleep means you start your day with thicker blood, which is when stroke risk is naturally higher anyway. Getting enough fluids, especially early in the day, helps counter this risk. Practical action. Make drinking a glass of water the very first thing you do when you wake up. Keep a glass or bottle of water right next to your bed so you can reach for it easily. Don't wait until you feel very thirsty. Thirst is often a sign that you are already slightly dehydrated. Aim for a full glass, maybe 8 to 10 ounces, about 250 to 300 ml. Some people like to add a squeeze of lemon or lime, or a tiny pinch of sea salt, which can help your body absorb the water better. Safety nuance. While drinking water is generally safe and healthy, if you have certain medical conditions like kidney problems or heart failure, your doctor might have given you specific instructions about how much fluid you should drink. Always follow your doctor's advice regarding fluid intake. Also, be mindful that drinking a lot of water right before bed might lead to waking up more often during the night to use the bathroom. Finding the right balance is key. Minites/question. Starting your day hydrated is vital, but what about what you eat? Or more importantly, what you eat too soon? We'll cover that next. Number 8. Eating sugary or heavy foods right away. Waking up with a sweet craving or feeling like you need something substantial might lead you to reach for sugary pastries, sugary cereals, or a heavy, greasy meal very soon after getting out of bed. While some food is important in the morning, which we'll discuss later, eating certain types of food immediately can be a risky habit for older adults concerned about stroke. Pain/benefit. Eating foods high in sugar or unhealthy fats causes a rapid spike in your blood sugar levels. This forces your body, especially your pancreas, to work hard to produce insulin to bring the sugar down. Over time, these constant spikes can lead to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, both of which are major risk factors for stroke. Sugary foods can also contribute to inflammation in your blood vessels. Heavy, greasy foods, especially those high in saturated or trans fats, can increase unhealthy cholesterol levels over time, which can clog your arteries and make stroke more likely. Eating these types of foods first thing puts a sudden strain on your body's systems. A healthier approach is to fuel your body with nutrients that release energy slowly and don't cause sudden spikes. This helps keep your blood sugar stable and puts less stress on your cardiovascular system, protecting your blood vessels and lowering your stroke risk. Named study, research from the American Heart Association has consistently shown a link between diets high in added sugars and unhealthy fats, and an increased risk of heart disease and stroke. Specifically, studies looking at meal timing suggest that the body's ability to process sugar can be less efficient first thing in the morning for some people, making those early sugar spikes even more impactful on blood vessel health. Practical action: if you need to eat something soon after waking, choose something light and nutritious. A small piece of fruit, a handful of nuts, a few bites of yogurt, or a small piece of whole grain toast with a little avocado or nut butter are much better choices than sugary donuts, pastries, or fried foods. Save heavier meals for later in the morning or lunchtime. Focus on foods that provide steady energy without causing a sugar crash. Safety nuance: some people, particularly those with diabetes, might need to eat something specific very soon after waking to manage their blood sugar. This advice is geared towards avoiding unhealthy options like excessive sugar or grease immediately. Always follow the dietary advice given by your doctor or a registered dietitian, especially if you have diabetes or other health conditions. Minities/question: avoiding sugar is a good start, but what about putting physical stress on your body before it's ready? That's coming up next. Still watching? Type 1 in the comments below. Number 7. Starting heavy physical activity too soon. Maybe you feel like you need to get your exercise done first thing, or you have chores that require heavy lifting or straining immediately after waking up. While regular exercise is fantastic for your health, starting intense physical activity or heavy work right after getting out of bed can be a dangerous habit for older adults and increase stroke risk. Pain/benefit: when you first wake up, your blood pressure naturally rises slightly and your heart rate increases to get your body going. Your muscles and joints might still be a bit stiff. Suddenly putting your body under heavy physical strain, like lifting something heavy, intense running, or strenuous yard work, can cause a dramatic and rapid increase in your blood pressure and heart rate. This sudden surge puts immense stress on your heart and blood vessels. If your arteries are already weakened or narrowed, this stress can trigger a stroke or other cardiovascular event. Your body needs time to transition from rest to activity. Starting with gentle movements allows your blood pressure and heart rate to rise gradually and safely. This protects your blood vessels from sudden stress and lowers your risk of a stroke caused by exertion. Named study: studies have shown that strenuous physical activity can be a trigger for stroke, especially in individuals who are not regularly active or who have underlying cardiovascular risks. Research highlighted by the American Stroke Association indicates that while regular exercise is protective, sudden, intense bursts of activity, particularly early in the morning when blood pressure patterns are less stable for some, carry a higher relative risk for vulnerable individuals. Practical action: if you plan to exercise or do physical work in the morning, give yourself time to warm up properly. Start with 10 to 15 minutes of very gentle movements, like stretching, walking slowly around your home, or doing some light household chores. If you plan a workout, begin with a slow walk or light cycling before increasing intensity. If you have heavy tasks to do, try to postpone them until later in the morning when your body is fully awake and warmed up, or break them down into smaller, less strenuous parts. Listen to your body. If you feel dizzy, chest pain, or shortness of breath, stop immediately. Safety nuance. This doesn't mean you shouldn't exercise. Regular exercise is crucial for preventing stroke. The key is how you start your morning activity. If you are starting a new exercise program or have a heart condition or high blood pressure, talk to your doctor about what level of activity is safe for you and the best time of day to do it. Minites/question. Giving your body time to warm up is smart, but what about ignoring another urge that builds up while you sleep? Don't ignore this one. Number 6. Holding urine first thing in the morning. Many people wake up needing to use the bathroom, but might delay it, maybe trying to fall back asleep, or simply feeling lazy about getting out of bed. While it might seem like a small thing, holding urine when you have a full bladder soon after waking is a habit that can actually raise your risk of stroke in older adults. Pain/benefit. When your bladder is full, it puts pressure on your body. This pressure can cause a temporary but significant increase in your blood pressure. Your body has to work harder to manage the discomfort and the pressure from the full bladder. For older adults, especially those who already have high blood pressure or heart issues, this sudden rise in pressure is dangerous. It puts extra strain on your heart and blood vessels, increasing the risk of a stroke or even a heart failure event. Holding urine for too long can also increase your risk of urinary tract infections, which can sometimes lead to other health problems. Getting up and emptying your bladder as soon as you feel the urge helps release this pressure on your body. It allows your blood pressure to stay more stable early in the morning and avoids putting unnecessary stress on your cardiovascular system. It's a simple release that protects your heart and brain. Named study. While direct studies linking holding urine specifically to stroke events in the morning are less common, medical understanding shows that a full bladder can reflexively increase blood pressure and heart rate. This physiological response is well documented and contributes to the overall cardiovascular strain, which can be particularly risky during the vulnerable morning hours for individuals already at risk of stroke. Practical action. Make it a rule to go to the bathroom as soon as you feel the definite urge after waking up. Don't put it off. If getting out of bed quickly is difficult, plan ahead. Make sure your path to the bathroom is clear. Consider having a commode or urinal close by if needed. Don't try to hold it to fall back asleep or for any other reason. Safety nuance. If you find you are waking up multiple times during the night specifically to urinate, this might be a sign of another underlying health issue, such as prostate problems in men, urinary tract infections, or even poorly controlled diabetes. While always emptying your bladder in the morning is important, talk to your doctor if you have frequent nighttime urination, nocturia, to understand the cause and get appropriate treatment. This advice is about the morning urge after a full night's sleep, not necessarily about managing frequent nighttime waking. Minites/question. Relieving physical pressure is important, and so is relieving mental pressure. But what about the modern habit that floods your mind with stress the moment you open your eyes? Here is a story about someone I cared for that might help illustrate the importance of some of these small changes. Mr. Tanaka was a kind gentleman in his late 70s who had already had one minor stroke a few years before I met him. He was doing well, managing his blood pressure with medication and trying to stay active. However, he confessed that his mornings were very rushed. He'd wake up, immediately jump out of bed, feel a bit dizzy, but ignore it, rush to the bathroom to splash water on his face, often delaying going to the toilet, then immediately sit down with his tablet to read the news while quickly drinking a cup of strong black coffee he'd prepared the night before in a timer machine. He rarely ate breakfast until much later. He came to me because he was having more frequent episodes of dizziness in the morning. We talked about his routine, and I explained how each of these steps, the rapid waking, the delayed bathroom trip, the immediate screen time and news stress, the coffee before water, and the skipped breakfast were all putting his system under stress at the most vulnerable time of day. It took some convincing, as these were habits of decades, but he agreed to try just a few small changes. He started by simply sitting on the side of his bed for 1 full minute before standing. He put a glass of water next to his bed and drank it before getting up. He agreed to go to the bathroom as soon as he felt the urge, and instead of the news first thing, he started listening to quiet music or a podcast for 15 minutes while sipping his water. He also started eating a small piece of fruit or some yogurt within 30 minutes of waking. After just 2 weeks, his morning dizziness was almost completely gone. He told me he felt calmer and more in control of his day, not just physically, but mentally. Mr. Tanaka's story shows how powerful these seemingly small morning adjustments can be, especially for someone already at risk. It's not about perfection, but about making conscious choices to protect your body when it needs it most. Number 5. Checking phone or TV immediately after waking. For many people, especially in our modern world, reaching for a phone to check messages, emails, or news, or immediately turning on the TV for the morning news is the very first thing they do upon waking. This habit, though incredibly common, can be surprisingly harmful for older adults and silently increase stroke risk. Pain/benefit. When you first wake up, your brain and nervous system are transitioning from a resting state. Your blood pressure is naturally a bit higher in the morning as your body gets ready for the day. Suddenly exposing your mind to potentially stressful information, upsetting news headlines, urgent emails, or even just the flood of notifications causes your body to release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones cause your blood vessels to constrict, your heart rate to speed up, and your blood pressure to jump. For someone over 65, whose blood vessels might be less flexible, this sudden stress response can be a dangerous strain, increasing the risk of a stroke caused by a sudden spike in pressure. It also sets a tone of stress for your entire day. Instead, allowing your brain a few minutes to wake up calmly helps keep your stress hormones and blood pressure lower in those crucial early moments. Giving your mind a gentle start protects your cardiovascular system and contributes to a calmer, healthier day. Named study. Research on stress physiology shows clearly that exposure to stressful stimuli causes a rapid release of cortisol and adrenaline, leading to increased heart rate and blood pressure. While direct studies proving phone checking causes stroke are hard to conduct, the link between stress hormones, blood pressure spikes, and stroke risk is well established, especially in vulnerable populations. Early morning stress is a known trigger for cardiovascular events. Practical action. Create a buffer zone between waking up and engaging with screens or stressful information. Decide not to check your phone or turn on the TV for at least the first 15 to 30 minutes after you wake. Use that time for a more calming activity. Drink your water, do gentle stretches, listen to quiet music, or simply sit and focus on your breathing. Keep your phone out of easy reach from your bed. Resist the urge to immediately see what you missed while you were sleeping. Safety nuance. For some people, their phone is also their alarm clock. If this is the case, put your phone far enough away that you have to get out of bed to turn off the alarm. Once you turn it off, make a conscious decision not to open any apps or news sites until your buffer time is over. If you have a job or caregiving role where you absolutely must be available for emergencies, consider having a separate, simple emergency phone line or using a Do Not Disturb mode that allows only essential calls to come through. Minities/question. Avoiding stress is important, but what about something you consume that directly affects your blood pressure and hydration levels? First thing, most people get this one wrong. Number 4, drinking coffee or tea before water. This is a habit that millions, perhaps billions, of people worldwide share, waking up and immediately reaching for a cup of coffee or tea. It feels like the essential first step to waking up, but for older adults, drinking caffeine before you've had any water is a habit that can silently and significantly increase your stroke risk. Pain/benefit. As we discussed, after sleeping for many hours, your body is dehydrated. Your blood is thicker because you haven't had fluids. Coffee and tea contain caffeine, which is a diuretic, meaning it makes your body lose more water through urination. So, drinking caffeine first thing makes your existing dehydration worse and makes your blood even thicker. Thicker blood is harder for your heart to pump, increasing blood pressure, and is more likely to form dangerous clots that can lead to stroke. Caffeine also directly causes your blood vessels to constrict and your blood pressure to spike. This is a double whammy: thicker blood and increased pressure and vessel narrowing, all happening at a time when your body is already vulnerable. Drinking water first helps to rehydrate your body and thin your blood before you introduce caffeine. This reduces the strain on your heart and blood vessels and helps prevent those sharp, risky spikes in blood pressure. It allows you to still enjoy your coffee or tea, but in a way that is much safer for your cardiovascular system. Named study. Numerous studies show the diuretic effect of caffeine, although this effect can lessen in regular caffeine drinkers. However, starting the day in a dehydrated state is a separate risk. Research has shown that blood viscosity, thickness, is higher in dehydrated states, increasing the risk of clot formation. While caffeine's long-term effects on blood pressure are complex, its immediate effect is usually an increase. Combining morning dehydration and caffeine's effects creates a potential risk window, especially for vulnerable individuals. Practical action. This one is simple but requires consistency. Make drinking a full glass of water the absolute first thing you do after waking up. Keep the water by your bed. Then, wait at least 15 to 20 minutes before you have your coffee or tea. This gives your body time to absorb the water and improve its hydration status before you introduce the diuretic effect of caffeine. You don't have to give up your beloved morning beverage, just change the order. Safety nuance. If you take medications in the morning, especially blood pressure medication, check with your doctor or pharmacist whether they should be taken with water, before food, or at a specific time relative to caffeine intake. For most medications, water is the best choice for swallowing and absorption. Also, be mindful of how much caffeine you consume in total throughout the day, as excessive caffeine intake can have other negative health effects. Minities/question. Hydrating before caffeine is a game changer, and waiting before getting out of bed is equally critical. Why? We'll reveal that next. Still watching? Type 1 in the comments below. Number 3. Getting out of bed too fast. This is perhaps one of the most common and overlooked dangerous morning habits for older adults. You wake up, maybe your alarm is ringing, and you immediately sit up or stand up quickly. This rush to get out of bed the moment you open your eyes is a significant, silent risk factor for stroke. Pain/benefit. When you're lying down, gravity helps your blood flow smoothly to your brain. When you sit up or stand up quickly, gravity pulls blood downwards towards your legs and feet. Your body has a system to quickly adjust to this change and make sure enough blood still reaches your brain by increasing your heart rate and constricting blood vessels slightly. However, in older adults, this system might not work as quickly or efficiently. Blood vessels can be stiffer and the heart's response might be slower. If your body doesn't adjust fast enough, blood can pool in your lower body, and your brain doesn't get enough blood and oxygen for a brief moment. This is what causes that feeling of dizziness or lightheadedness when you stand up too fast. This temporary drop in blood flow to the brain is called orthostatic hypotension, and while it's often brief, it can increase the risk of fainting, which can lead to falls and injuries, or, in more serious cases, can be a trigger for stroke, particularly for those with underlying circulation problems or narrowed arteries. Taking a few moments to transition slowly allows your body's systems to adjust gradually, ensuring a steady flow of blood to your brain and preventing those risky drops in blood pressure. It gives your heart and blood vessels the time they need to safely change position. Named study. Orthostatic hypotension or the sudden drop in blood pressure upon standing is a well-known risk factor for falls, fainting, and cardiovascular events including stroke, especially in older adults. Studies published in journals like Circulation and the Journal of the American Geriatric Society have documented the dangers of orthostatic hypotension and its association with increased stroke incidence in older populations. The morning is a peak time for this phenomenon due to overnight changes in body fluids and blood pressure regulation. Practical action: adopt a simple, slow routine for getting out of bed. First, when you wake up, take a few deep breaths while still lying down. Then, slowly sit up at the edge of your bed. Let your feet dangle over the side of the bed for at least 30 seconds or even a full minute if needed. While sitting there, you can take a few more deep breaths and let your body adjust. Then, slowly stand up, using a nearby chair or nightstand for support if necessary. Do not rush any of these steps. Safety nuance: if you frequently experience significant dizziness or lightheadedness when you stand up, even when moving slowly, this could be a sign of a different underlying medical issue, such as dehydration, certain medications, or a heart condition. Be sure to mention this symptom to your doctor so they can investigate the cause. This slow method is a good habit for everyone, but is particularly crucial if you already experience morning dizziness. Question: transitioning slowly from lying to standing is essential, just like transitioning from a fasted state to a nourished one. Are you skipping the first opportunity to fuel your body safely? Number 2, skipping breakfast or eating too late. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your body has been fasting. Your blood sugar levels are lower and your body is ready for fuel. Skipping breakfast entirely, or waiting many hours after waking before you eat anything substantial, is a habit that older adults should definitely stop to lower their stroke risk. Pain/benefit: when you wake up and delay eating for a long time, your blood sugar can drop too low. In response, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Yes, these hormones come up again. These hormones are meant to give you a jolt of energy by releasing stored sugar, but they also cause your blood pressure to rise and your heart rate to increase. This puts unnecessary strain on your cardiovascular system right at the start of the day. Additionally, prolonged fasting can affect how your body regulates blood sugar and insulin over the long term, increasing the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, a major stroke risk factor. Skipping breakfast is also linked to unhealthy eating patterns later in the day, potentially leading to weight gain and higher cholesterol, further increasing stroke risk. Eating a healthy breakfast relatively soon after waking, within an hour or two, provides your body with steady energy, helps keep your blood sugar levels stable, prevents the release of those stressful hormones, and helps maintain healthy blood pressure. It sets a positive tone for your metabolism and energy levels throughout the day, protecting your heart and brain. Named study: multiple studies have linked skipping breakfast to increased risk factors for cardiovascular disease, including higher blood pressure, higher cholesterol, and increased risk of type 2 diabetes and obesity. For example, research published in the journal Circulation found that men who regularly skipped breakfast had a significantly higher risk of heart attack and stroke compared to those who ate breakfast daily. This link is thought to be partly due to the negative effects of skipping breakfast on blood sugar control and blood pressure regulation. Practical action: make a commitment to eat something nutritious within 1 to 2 hours of waking up. It doesn't have to be a huge meal. Even a small, healthy snack is better than nothing. Good options include a small bowl of oatmeal, yogurt with some fruit, a hard-boiled egg, a piece of whole grain toast with avocado, or a smoothie made with fruit and yogurt or milk. Prepare something the night before if you're short on time in the morning. The goal is to break the overnight fast and give your body stable energy. Safety nuance: the type of breakfast matters. Eating sugary cereals, pastries, or fried foods, as discussed earlier, is not the goal. Focus on whole grains, lean protein, and healthy fats. If you have diabetes or other medical conditions that affect your blood sugar, talk to your doctor or a dietitian about the best timing and composition for your morning meal to manage your specific conditions safely. Question. Eating breakfast protects you, but what is the single worst habit you could have first thing that combines multiple risks and that almost everyone overlooks? Number 1. Ignoring or dismissing morning warning signs. This is the number one dangerous morning habit for older adults, and it's the most insidious because it's about inaction. Many people wake up feeling not quite right, maybe a brief wave of dizziness that feels worse than usual when they stand, a strange headache that wasn't there the night before, a sudden, fleeting weakness in an arm or leg, or trouble finding words that quickly passes. The most dangerous habit is ignoring these warning signs or dismissing them as just getting old, didn't sleep well, or must be tired. Pain/benefit. These seemingly minor symptoms could be transient ischemic attacks, TIA, often called mini-strokes. A TIA happens when blood flow to part of the brain is blocked for a short time, usually less than 5 minutes. TIAs do not cause permanent brain damage, but they are a critical warning sign that a stroke is likely to happen soon, often within hours, days, or weeks. Ignoring a TIA is like ignoring a fire alarm. It means you are missing a crucial opportunity to prevent a major disaster. Morning is a common time for TIAs because of the natural fluctuations in blood pressure and blood thickness discussed earlier. If you experience symptoms like sudden numbness or weakness in the face, arm, or leg, especially on one side of the body, sudden confusion or trouble speaking, sudden trouble seeing in one or both eyes, sudden trouble walking, dizziness, or loss of balance, or a sudden severe headache too with no known cause, even if they last only a few seconds or minutes and then go away, you must take them seriously. Recognizing these signs and seeking immediate medical help can allow doctors to identify the cause and take steps to prevent a major stroke. Acting quickly can literally save your life and prevent serious disability. Named study. Extensive research has proven that TIAs are strong predictors of major stroke. Studies like those in the New England Journal of Medicine have shown that the risk of stroke is highest in the hours and days immediately following a TIA. Recognizing and treating TIAs significantly reduces the risk of subsequent stroke. Public health campaigns like the FAST campaign, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call emergency services, are based on this critical understanding. Practical action. If you experience any sudden symptom that could be a stroke or TIA, even if it goes away quickly, treat it as an emergency. Do not wait to see if it gets better. Call emergency services immediately. Do not try to drive yourself or wait for a regular doctor's appointment. Tell the dispatcher your symptoms clearly. Even if the symptoms have stopped by the time help arrives, explain exactly what happened. Doctors can run tests to determine if it was a TIA and identify your stroke risk factors to start preventive treatment. This might include medication, lifestyle changes, or procedures. Safety nuance. Not every headache or dizzy spell is a TIA, but it is always better to get it checked out, especially if the symptom is sudden, severe, or involves weakness, numbness, or difficulty speaking or seeing. Pay attention to new or different sensations that are sudden. Don't hesitate to seek emergency medical attention out of fear of being wrong or not wanting to cause a fuss. Healthcare professionals would much rather evaluate a potential TIA than see a patient later with a debilitating stroke that could have been prevented. Question. Ignoring warning signs is the biggest risk, but thankfully, making small changes to your morning routine can significantly lower your overall risk. So, how can you put all of this into practice? Every morning is a new opportunity for your body, but it's also a time when your risk of stroke is naturally higher. The habits you choose in those first few minutes after waking up can either protect your brain and heart or put them under unnecessary stress. We've talked about 10 common habits, from smoking and ignoring thirst to rushing out of bed and dismissing warning signs, that can silently increase your stroke risk, especially as you get older, by making simple adjustments like hydrating before caffeine, giving your body time to wake up slowly before getting out of bed, eating a healthy breakfast soon after waking, avoiding stressful inputs, and most importantly, taking any sudden, potential warning signs seriously. You are taking powerful, proactive steps. These aren't complicated or expensive changes, but they can make a significant difference in protecting your brain and heart health as you age. Remember, it's never too late to start building healthier habits. Begin incorporating these steps into your routine tomorrow morning and give your body the care it deserves right from the start of the day. If you found these insights helpful and plan to make some changes to your morning routine, please give this video a like. It helps us reach more people with this important health information. And don't forget to subscribe to the Buddha Health channel for more expert advice on living a long, healthy, and happy life. In our next video, we'll look at evening habits that can impact your sleep and overall health. Thank you for watching and for taking charge of your health. Remember that making small, consistent changes each morning can build a foundation for a healthier future. Stay mindful, stay active, and take care of yourself. Your body has served you well for many years. Give it the respect and care it deserves, especially in those critical first moments of the day. Wishing you many healthy and safe mornings ahead.